Eevee allows you to create cool spotlights in the fog effects, or volumetric lighting as they're officially called. But that is not what this tutorial is about. This tutorial starts once you've already created your volumetric effects, according to another tutorial, because I don't like copying other people's work. Can we get these with an alpha layer?
Well, yeah.
But there are a few limitations. We can't light it with an HDRI for a start, and we can't light it with a sun either. We're limited to spotlights, point lights, or light bulbs as I prefer to call them, and area lights. This also means that once we go to the world settings, we have to set the colour of the world to black. And if we render a frame now, there we go. So there are two things we want to combine to create the alpha layer. We want to use the brightness of the image. That will mean the lights are opaque and the blackness is transparent. But we also want to select all the solid objects and make them opaque as well. Fortunately, there's a little hack we can do. As it happens, mist is not affected by fog. Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense. First of all, I'm going to select the camera, and I'm going to set the end of it, which controls how far objects can be and still appear on camera. And I'm just going to set that to a nice 10,000. And I'm also going to go into the render layers option, or view layers as I should now be calling them. And in the passes, I'm going to tick mist. And now, if I go back to world settings, a mist pass tab has opened up. Now we're not using the mist as mist here. This is very simple, old-fashioned mist, as I refer to it. It's basically used for making objects in the distance fade into a certain colour. It's actually incredibly useful and quite quick. But we're not using it for that. We're basically using it to separate objects from nothingness. So what I'm going to do is, I happen to know that there are no objects further than 500 metres away. Also, the distance for the camera is 1,000 metres, so we won't have any trouble with the two of those numbers running into each other. And quadratic doesn't really matter. I mean, maybe linear is faster, I don't know. There probably isn't much in it. I'm going to change that to linear for the hell of it. And now I'm going to press F12 again. And now I'm going to pop into composite nodes, or compositing. And I'll tick the tick boxes, use nodes, auto render, and backdrop. I'm going to drag that out a bit. I'm going to hold down shift and drag across that line, thus cutting it in half. Add an output viewer and connect that to there as well. And now press V until that's entirely in screen, so I can see what I'm doing. Let's have a look at the mist pass. Damn it. Let's have a look at the mist pass. And here we see it separated it into objects and nothing, which is great. I mean, ideally we want to kind of invert this. So I'm going to invert this with an invert. I mean, you might use a colour ramp. It looks to me like this is not entirely white, but it's kind of hard to tell. If it's not entirely white, we want a colour ramp going in the wrong direction would help rather than an invert. But let's see how well this works, as I believe an invert is mildly faster. We also want a set alpha node, which I'm going to search for. So let's put this inverted into there and this image into there, which is okay. The other option would be to have the image going into both into there and the alpha point there, which is basically using the darkness as the alpha. What we want to do is combine this mist with this image to get our alpha. And that's pretty simple. All we need to do is get a maths node in the case, which I'm going to, so that's connected to there, and add would work, as would maximum. I'm going to go for maximum there, but I'm also going to press clamp. I'm not quite sure what happens when alpha gets above 1, but it does seem to sort of break things slightly. So clicking that clamp button will probably help. And now that's it. It's slightly quicker than the last one, and we can set our render frames and render out a video. I'm planning to do more in this series. Smoke with alpha? Bloom with alpha? If you can think of anything else that's hard to do in Eevee with alpha, give me a shout and I'll see if I can twist some nodes together till it works.